The 11th Discourse. The Prophet, Allah bless him and give him peace, is reported as having said, in every specialized craft, you should seek the help of a qualified expert. This worshipful service is a specialized craft, and its qualified experts are those who are sincere about their work, those who are learned in the law and who put it into practice, those who take their leave of creatures after their experience of him, those who flee from their own selves, from their possessions and their children and everything apart from their Lord, Almighty and glorious is He, running on the feet of their hearts and their innermost beings into the presence of the Lord of Truth, Almighty and glorious is He, so they come to be among those concerning whom Allah has said, and surely in our sight they are among the chosen, the excellent. 38:47 The believer never ceases to feel afraid until the document of immunity is given to his innermost being, which then keeps it concealed from his heart and does not let it become aware of it. But this is granted only to a very few individuals. Their physical forms are in civilized surroundings among creatures, while their hearts are in the wastelands and deserts. They keep to this pattern until their hearts are well trained and their wings are strong enough to fly up into the sky. Their spiritual aspirations are lofty and their hearts are up. Woe unto you, O you idolatrous worshipper of creatures! How often will you knock on doors that do not have your own homes at the back of them? How often will you knock on iron without any fire? You have no common sense, you have no faculty of reason, you have no sense of order and direction. Woe unto you! Come close to me, and eat some food that does not belong to me. If you ever tasted the food of the Creator, your heart and your innermost being would surely abstain from the food of creatures. This is something that can only be experienced in the heart behind the clothes, not by the flesh and not by the skin, but this heart is fit for nothing as long as it is still attached to creatures. Conviction is still uncertain as long as the heart continues to retain one atom of the love of this world. When faith has become certitude, certitude has become direct experience, and direct experience has become knowledge, then you will become an expert for the sake of Allah, Almighty and glorious is He. You will take from the hand of the rich and give back to the poor. You will become the owner of the restaurant, dishing out nourishment with the hand of your heart and your innermost being. You deserve no respect at all, O hypocrite, until you have come to be like this. Alas for you, you have not received instruction at the hand of a pious, abstinent sheikh, learned in the law of Allah, Almighty and glorious is He. Alas for you, you want something for nothing. It will not drop into your hand. When things of this world cannot be gained without strenuous effort, how about what is in the presence of Allah, Almighty and glorious is He? Where do you stand in relation to those whom Allah, Almighty and glorious is He, has commended, in the precise terms of His book, for worshipping Him so frequently? Of them He has said, they used to sleep only a little during the night, and with the dawning of each day they would seek forgiveness. 51:17-18 1 When He recognized the sincerity of their dedication to His service, He appointed an agent to wake them up and arouse them from their beds. As the Prophet, Allah bless him and give him peace, has said, Allah, Almighty and glorious is He, will say, O Gabriel, make so-and-so get up, and put that other person to sleep. As for the people, when the footsteps of their hearts have finally led them to their Lord, Almighty and glorious is He, they will see in their sleep what they never saw in their state of wakefulness. Their hearts and their innermost beings will see something they cannot see while they are awake. They have fasted and prayed, they have fought their lower selves by subjecting them to hunger and disgrace, and they have labored night and day to perform all kinds of worshipful service, until the garden of paradise has come to be theirs. But now that it is theirs, they will be told, the way is not this. It is the quest for the Lord of Truth, Almighty and glorious is He. Their work must come to be performed in the sphere of their hearts, then when it reaches Him it will be confirmed and authenticated in His sight. When someone knows what he is looking for, he attaches little importance to the energy and effort he devotes to the obedient service of his Lord, Almighty and glorious is He. The believer never ceases to labor until he meets his Lord, Almighty and glorious is He. In the text of the Sublime Revelation, this quotation of the saying of the Prophet, Allah bless him and give him peace, is followed by, there are two ways of interpreting this. Make so-and-so get up, for he is sincere in his worshipful service, a fugitive from his sins. Drive trouble and sleep away from him. And put that other person to sleep, for he is a hypocritical liar. He is falsehood within falsehood, a curse within a curse, so cast the spell of slumber upon him, so that I shall not see his face among those who stand upright. The other way of taking it would be to make so-and-so get up, for he is a lover who is still seeking, and a necessary part of the lover's condition is weary toil. And put that other person to sleep, because he is a beloved, and a necessary part of the beloved's condition is restful comfort. He must be allowed to sleep and rest, because he has been working night and day in order to fulfill his covenant and to prove himself true in his love. Since he has fully accomplished this, the moment has come for the fulfillment of the covenant of Allah. Almighty and glorious is he, because he has guaranteed rest in his company to all who are weary from toil on his behalf. Woe unto you! You claim to be my disciple, yet you keep your property hidden from me. You are lying when you make such a claim. The disciple has neither shirt nor turban, neither gold nor money to his name in relation to his sheikh. He just eats at his table whatever he tells him to eat. He has no existence of his own, as he waits for his sheikh to tell him what he must do and what he must not do, because he acknowledges that this comes from Allah. Almighty and glorious is he. His best interests are being looked after by his sheikh, and he is held on a tight rein. If you harbor any doubts about your sheikh, you should not stay in his company, for it will do you no good to share his fellowship or become his disciple. When a sick person has doubts about his physician, he cannot be cured by his treatment. The Prophet, Allah bless him and give him peace, has said, when a man dies and enters his grave, and when he has been interrogated by Munkar and Nakir, and when he has responded to their questioning, his spirit will then be permitted to ascend to Allah. Almighty and glorious is he, and to bow down in prostration before him, in the company of a congregation of the angels. Thus his spirit will get to meet him, and to it will be disclosed all that which was formerly veiled from its sight. Then it will be carried off to the garden of paradise, to join the company of the spirits of the righteous. Various spirits will come forward to bid it welcome. They will inquire about its circumstances and about the affairs of the world below, so it will tell them everything of which it has any knowledge about all that. Then they will ask the newly arrived spirit, what has so-and-so been doing? And it will say in reply, he died before me. On hearing this, the spirits will say, he never reached us. There is no power and no strength except through Allah, the High, the Almighty, who must have sent him straight to his mother, the pit. Then the spirits will be lodged inside the craw of one of the green birds which feed on the plants in the garden of paradise, and which betake themselves for refuge to a lamp suspended beneath the heavenly throne. An allusion to the verse of the Quran in which Allah, Almighty and glorious is he, has said, then he whose deeds weigh heavy in the balance shall inherit a pleasing life, but he whose deeds weigh light in the balance, his mother shall be the pit. What will convey to you what she is? A blazing fire. 101:6-11. We also know that the spirits of the martyrs and of all the believers will be lodged inside the craws of certain green birds, which are free to roam about in the garden of paradise, and that they will betake themselves for refuge to lamps of radiant light beneath the heavenly throne. Then, when the second blast of the trumpet is sounded, they will come back to join their physical bodies on the earth, to face the review and the reckoning on the day of resurrection. We know all this from the traditional report that has been handed down to us on the authority of Ibn Abbas, may Allah be well pleased with them both, according to whom Allah's messenger, Allah bless him and give him peace, once said, when your brothers have been slain by someone, Allah will lodge their spirits inside the crops of certain green birds, which are free to roam about in the garden of paradise, and they will betake themselves for refuge to lamps of gold in the shade of the heavenly throne. Then, when they discover the delightful quality of their food, their drink, and their resting place, they will say, who will let our brothers know that we are actually alive, enjoying sustenance in the garden of paradise, so that they will not abstain from the struggle, so that they will not flinch from the war? So Allah, Almighty and glorious is he, will tell them, for he is the most truthful of tellers, I shall let them know. There we have a good description of the encounter as it will be experienced by the vast majority of the believers. May the peace of Allah be upon them all, and his greetings of welcome. O Allah, let us be numbered amongst them. Let us live the life they live, and let us die the death they die. Ameen.